Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be shedding light on how to rapidly recover after losing your job. So how do you rapidly recover post losing your job? How do you rebound post losing your job? How do you pull yourself out of the muck and mire in an expeditious manner post losing your job? Without further ado, without further delay, allow me to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now. But first and foremost, do not fret. Do not be trepidatious. Do not be anxious. Do not be worried. You want to be able to embrace an abundance mindset. You want to be able to embrace an optimistic outlook on life. You want to be able to actualize your latent potential. You want to be able to manifest the quintessential version of yourself into reality. Do not settle for less. Never allow yourself to stagnate. Never allow yourself to be impeded, nor obstructed, nor encumbered, nor stymied, nor stifled. Never regress in life. Always thrust your life into a forward movement trajectory. You want to be able to reach your overarching goals and reach your higher aspirations. Do not settle for insipid mediocrity. You have the latent potential to accomplish far more than you realize. Leverage your knowledge, competencies, and repertoire to generate wealth. So, once you lose your job, you can do far more than just hone in on embracing health optimization measures to optimize your health and well-being. You could also commence taking measures to generate extreme wealth. But before you do that, you want to meticulously assess your options. You want to be able to ascertain your career options. You want to be able to profusely understand what pathways for generating revenue you can tread down. The bottom line is you're going to need short-term relief to pay your immediate bills. You cannot defer to make the minimum payments on your immediate bills. The late fees can be substantial and can further amplify your negative net worth. So for short-term relief, you need to choose a path of least resistance. Based on your competencies, repertoire, and knowledge, you need to ascertain which are the highest paying freelance roles and highest paying gig economy gigs that you are capable of handling, and then you need to subsequently pursue performing them for short-term relief. So register on a myriad of freelance platforms and register on a myriad of gig economy applications and be pursuant of freelance roles and gig economy gigs that you're capable of handling that offer you the highest amount of revenue. You want to be able to earn the highest amount of revenue in the shortest period of time for short-term relief. Short-term relief is ephemeral and fleeting and short-lived, but at least it can allow you to make the minimum payments on your bills. Any spare time you have should be earmarked, should be allocated into pursuing entrepreneurial pursuits. As an entrepreneur, you want to be able to cultivate behemoth brands across a multitude of disparate social media platforms, as well as produce income-generating assets. The only way to get out of poverty and pull yourself out of the muck and mire is to have your income-generating assets as an aggregate generate enough revenue to offset your recurring expenses. Your recurring revenue streams need to generate enough revenue to offset your recurring expenses. That's the only way to get out of poverty. So while it may seem enticing to be a high-paid freelancer or a high-paid gig economy worker, it is not befitting for you to do so in the long haul. You want to wean yourself off of being dependent on clients because it does not provide you with recurring revenue, and you never want your revenue to be tethered to your time in the long haul. It may need to be tethered to your time in the short haul for short-term relief, but you need to be able to allocate your time prudently and truly and not earmark all your time into gig economy gigs, nor into pursuing freelance roles if you want to be able to generate extreme wealth. So, as an entrepreneur, you want to be able to build your content reservoir. You want to be able to build your product catalog. You want to be able to assuage unmet needs among your target market. As an entrepreneur, you can produce videos, archivable live stream broadcasts, songs, podcasts, episodes, audiobooks, ebooks, custom-made print-on-demand merchandise, online courses, software applications, mobile games, customizable templates, and photos. As an entrepreneur, you want to be able to leverage your social media channels as potent marketing vehicles to vector your target market to your product pages where they have the autonomy to procure your product offerings from at any given moment if they so choose to do so. As an entrepreneur, you want to be able to have a multitude of recurring revenue streams. You want to be able to generate advertising revenue, subscription revenue, affiliate marketing revenue, sponsorship revenue, product placement revenue, sales revenue, and of course, recurring donation revenue from your patrons via Patreon. You also want to create extraordinary, meritorious, worthwhile, indelible content. You want to create viral-worthy, share-worthy, algorithm recommendation-worthy, like-worthy, engagement-worthy content that is apt to yield high engagement rates, high watch times, high audience retention rates, and high viewership rates. You want your content to build traction and transcend into becoming viral content. Furthermore, you want your products to also build traction and transcend into becoming viral products. Your products should not only be stellar products, but they should also be able to assuage unmet needs among your target market. If your content or products build traction and transcend into becoming viral, then it can redound to your advantage and it can change your life overnight. Billions of people from around the world can simultaneously procure your products at any given moment. Billions of people from around the world can simultaneously consume your content at any given moment. So just understand that as an entrepreneur, your earnings potential is unfettered, it is uncapped, it is limitless, it has no glass ceiling. It is not fettered by a measly, infinitesimal, non-subsistence wage imposed by an employer. Your target market will determine whether or not you are profoundly successful as an entrepreneur. They can consume your content and products, or they could choose to forego doing so. Your success is in the hands of your target market. So produce content and products that assuage their unmet needs. Do everything in your purview to cultivate brand growth, to attain substantial brand recognition, to attain robust brand equity, and to foster brand loyalty. Do everything in your purview to attain substantial market growth. Do everything in your purview to become a dominant market competitor in the niche user-generated content markets and in the niche product markets that you compete in. You're vying for market share against other entrepreneurs who have behemoth brands, who have potent competitive advantages, and who have attained substantial brand recognition, strong brand loyalty, and of course, robust brand equity. They also have prodigious content reservoirs and prodigious product catalogs. So just bear that in mind. It's not easy to become profoundly successful as an entrepreneur, especially since niche user-generated content markets and niche product markets are overly saturated and replete with competition. You want to utilize the utmost search for germane keywords as a metadata for your content. You also want to utilize catchy titles and aesthetically appealing thumbnails for your content. So, if you work strategically hard, ceaselessly, unremittingly, incessantly for at least 14 to 18 hours per day as an entrepreneur over the course of 3 to 15 years, then you have a modicum of a chance to be profoundly successful as an entrepreneur. If you are profoundly successful as an entrepreneur, then you can generate extreme fame, leverage, and generate extreme wealth. You can even be so successful that if you're able to grow a sizable behemoth of a subscriber base comprised of millions of followers subsumed under a brand's target market, they may even pay you hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars to buy a product placement from you. Kylie Jenner, for instance, earns $1 million per product placement she sells. Brands are willing to pay $1 million just to have their products featured on one of her Instagram photos because she has millions of followers. At this juncture, she more than likely has well over 100 million followers. But the bottom line is, as an entrepreneur, your earnings potential is limitless. So for short-term relief, you may need to pursue the highest paying gig economy roles and you may need to pursue the highest paying gig economy gigs and the highest paying freelance roles that you can handle pursuing. And you should also double as an entrepreneur. You should moonlight as an entrepreneur so that you could wean yourself off of being dependent on clients to provide you with short-term relief. You do not want to perpetually be a freelancer nor perpetually be a gig economy worker. Once you can generate enough revenue as an entrepreneur to at least make the minimum payments on your immediate bills, then you can forgo pursuing freelance roles that dispossess you of your time, and you can forgo pursuing gig economy gigs that dispossess you of your time. The whole goal is to allocate your time prudently and shrewdly into cultivating behemoth brands across a multitude of popular social media platforms and into creating income-generating assets. You want your monetizable intellectual properties to generate enough revenue as an aggregate to offset your recurring expenses. You want to be able to cultivate your recurring revenue streams so that they can offset your recurring expenses. You want to be able to thrive, prosper, and flourish and not settle for insipid mediocrity. Do not be complacent with not reaching your latent potential. Do everything in your purview to actualize your latent potential into reality and reach your higher aspirations and overarching goals, and do everything in your purview to generate extreme wealth. So losing your job can be a blessing in disguise. When one door shuts, another door opens. You can reconfigure your life. You can recalibrate your life. You can change the trajectory of your life. And you want to be able to, if you're going to sell your sacrosanct, indispensable, precious, finite time for short-term relief, you want to be able to do so as efficiently as possible. So in the interim, in the interlude, before you are successful enough as an entrepreneur to not be dependent on short-term relief opportunities to generate revenue, you want to be able to be pursuant of the gig economy gigs that offer the maximum amount of revenue and the freelance roles that offer the maximum amount of revenue that you can handle completing. However, earmark as much time as you can into entrepreneurial pursuits, even when you are a freelancer or gig economy worker, because you want to be able to wean yourself off being dependent on clients for even short-term relief. As an entrepreneur, you want to be able to have an exorbitant amount of revenue streams. You want to be able to generate advertising revenue, affiliate marketing revenue, subscription revenue, recurring donations, sales revenue, sponsorship revenue, product placement revenue. You have the latent potential to achieve so much as an entrepreneur. Do not allow it to be squandered. Losing your job can allow you to revamp your life and allow you to veer down another pathway towards success in which your income and your earnings potential is unfettered, uncapped, limitless. I hope that you found this video to be insightful and enthralling. Have a blissful day. Goodbye.